So long story short, he ends up coming over and just me and him together start dropping our shoulders into this door and just break it down.
Jeez.
I thought you were going to say dropping your drawer.
I thought
you were going to say.
For a minute, I was concerned.
Let's be clear. There was none of that going on.
Well, you guys,
Adam, you don't understand how bad I need you here right now.
3, 2, 1.
Get ready, set, go.
You want to say it, miss? Do you want to say it?
What am I supposed to say again?
Is this thing on?
I thought, but I was like, what, am I saying that? Is this thing on?
Oh, there it was. There it was. That's the way it's supposed to sound.
A bit of a delayed reaction.
I can never get enough volume.
Kanan needs some Valium over there.
If you get some, pass some my way.
No, we'll just give it to other members. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
I love how you just got this.
I almost panicked. I almost panicked.
We love you, Kanan. We love you.
Oh, man. We're without John again tonight.
Yeah, that loser is
John
so
Sparks.
busy with school.
We're without John Sparks, but we have a John to fill in.
We do.
Blessed be.
We found a specific John.
We had to have another John. Any John. Come on, just John.
We got John Hopkins on the show tonight.
Woo!
Mr. John Hopkins,
Yes,
right there.
I'm excited.
In the flesh, man. In the flesh.
That's right. A lot of it, too.
There's a lot of us in that boat. Like I said earlier, my man boobs are giving me fits this evening. Everything's just kind of really not cooperating with me.
My favorite is going to be watching the video afterwards and trying to see if your boobs jump up and down.
You know, maybe I should just do it for the camera.
We'll put it on the big screen.
Yeah. See, I could do that on OnlyFans, but they decided to ban all pornographic material from their site.
As of like what? I think it's September or something.
And
who's doing this now?
OnlyFans.
Yeah. They're getting rid of the pornographic part of it. And I'm like, well, you have 1 month, girlfriend. 1 month to get all your stuff in.
I always thought that was the main thing of the site.
So what's the point of OnlyFans?
Exactly.
Yeah, for real.
I'm outraged.
It's like 98% porn.
You can't do that to me.
Cancel my subscription.
I thought that's all that it was with pornography.
Yeah.
Stuff.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit around and watch Fox News all night?
98%. I mean, what's the 2%? Foot porn?
I've got my Facebook on there.
I don't know what else is on. No, let me be very clear. I've never been on OnlyFans.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say. Wait, you know what's on there?
I feel like at the beginning of every show, we need to make that statement again that we made when we did the church episode, Kanan. Most of the things we say we're not serious about. So we'll make it clear.
Yeah.
98%.
Yes.
Just because I'm...
Yes, let's be clear. I am not actually canceling my subscription. Not till September.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. That is
There it is. There you have it.
I, on the other hand, am keeping mine. No.
Well, there was so many people. I heard there was people making. What they tell me is that there was a lot of. there was
Good catch. Good catch.
there was people in there making flat out bank.
Yes.
Just
yes.
doing very inappropriate and naughty things, but they were making.
You naughty girl, you.
I love how Kanan says it in such a approving way. Like his tone of voice is just like, ugh, giggity.
He's like.
That's what I'm thinking, you know.
Okay, Quagmire.
He's like John Lovitz on Grown Ups, where he's like, I'm having a wonderful time.
Oh my! Well,
So-
my cousin, he works over where we're at now, and he said there's a girl actually on. Take it if you want to or whatever. But anyway, over on I think he said she was clearing like 10 grand a month
Yep.
off of OnlyFans. I was like, oh,
I am in the wrong business.
Yes.
Amen to that.
As am I. Now,
Man.
you know,
I need to put down my hammer and pick up my.
Oh,
man.
hold on, let me
Hey,
mark
so
Mark that,
honestly though, I was just watching a like one of those short documentaries about this lady that interviewed a male gigolo.
Mhm.
It's literally what the thing was called. And he just would go on dates with these women to make them feel better about themselves. He'd go on dates, go on vacation. He'd, whatever, go to weddings with them.
Mhm.
And they'd pay him to do it. And there was no sexual stuff involved, literally just going on dates with these women. They asked him how much money he made going on a week-long vacation, which he said happened quite often, where they'd pay him to go on vacation with them for a week. And he would make $22,500 for a 1-week vacation. I said,
Lord.
babe, I am going to become a male gigolo.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
For real. For
now,
real, man.
okay. Now, people's definition though of like sexual can be very different because some people consider some sexual activities as not sexual.
Well, I mean, they didn't get that in detail in the documentary, but he just said no sexual stuff, purely companionship.
Oh.
I mean, for 22.5, I mean, let's just do some. You know, I mean, I'm like a good deal. 22.5 plus. All right.
I love how Mariah's like throwing daggers with her eyes. I can totally see it. Over
definitely,
here.
definitely.
John,
it's
do you see like
hot in here. It's really hot.
Honey, this ain't nothing compared to where you're going.
Oh,
son.
Mama always did say I'd wind up there.
so yeah, they had OnlyFans had to, from what I understand, it was the bank that they were dealing with. Because I guess what a lot of people don't understand is if you're in business with a big bank, they can pretty much tell you
what you can't.
If we don't like the way you're doing
Yep.
business, then we're just going to pull the rug out from under you. And good luck then getting somebody to help you with operating expenses and stuff. So from what I understand, the bank told them no more doing the nasty on there, and they said,
Peace.
which I don't. You all right, Kanan?
I'm all right.
I have. What was the guy? What was the guy that was big when you were a kid? One of those Carter.
When I was a kid, like I'm an old person.
Well, but I never paid attention to him. It was one of the Carter.
Aaron Carter?
Aaron Carter. He was on there.
The really skinny dude guy.
He was like what a pop idol when he was a kid.
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
Aaron Carter.
Carter was like the.
Yeah,
Wasn't he with NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? One of those two bands.
I think it was Backstreet. I think.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I heard
I don't know either.
it was either
I didn't
him.
listen
ain't
to
there-
that ungodly music.
I love it.
Wasn't there another Carter? I don't remember which there was. I think there was brothers,
There's
right?
3 of them.
There's three
There's
of
a
them.
lot of Carters.
Well, one of them I don't remember which one it was, but he had his career had taken such a dive that he had resorted to OnlyFans. And I finally found a spot, Kanan, to
Hey,
play
Phil.
this clip right here.
Finally did it.
I love it.
We
I love
finally
it. That's
found a
perfect.
spot to play it.
I can't.
You don't have a job.
John, you
Oh.
John, you was getting ready to say something. Go ahead, bud.
I was just gonna ask if his career out.
Oh, that was good. That was so good.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great. That's
Oh,
good.
that one blindsided me.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is in trouble. What do you need?
After
What did you do?
justice.
Blow his out on the list?
Oh, gracious.
There you go.
Sorry.
I can't.
Uh,
Are you good, Miss?
Yep. I'm great. Okay.
You're good. All right, let me try it again. No, I'm not gonna be able to not laugh.
You're not. Yeah, you're gonna be. I love when you're just cracking up over there.
Really?
Oh, man.
Really?
We have a drink of your monster.
I love those, man.
Sit freaking still.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
All right, let me.
so anyway,
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in trouble, and Arnold is known to not be what this conservative hero these days.
Yeah.
But he really he ticked off some people, and so bad that he's losing sponsors for the Arnold Classic.
And now he's saying,
Oh, no way.
And I'll just read through some of the article here. It's on Fox News.
I planned on going to that this year.
Does it start off saying, get to the chopper now?
I don't know if they usually an article about Arnold does make some kind of reference to that.
Hey, you're bringing a lot of jokes.
There.
A lot of jokes are coming to mind. I'm trying.
Fox News can confirm the governor of California has lost a sponsor for his annual bodybuilding event known as the Arnold Classic due to controversial comments he made last week.
Let me just say, he looks terrible.
Oh, he does. He looks awful. Have you seen him with his shirt off lately?
No, I don't want to see that. Thank you.
Oh, it's sad.
That's why I quit working out.
You didn't want to look like Arnold when he got that on.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Never mind.
He's like the movie. He's like, pardon me, ma'am, was that your foot or your breast I'm stepping on?
Oh, saggy baggies.
Gotta be the same with him.
So here's what Arnold said. People should know there is a virus here. It kills people, and the only way we prevent it is to get vaccinated, wear a mask, do social distancing, wash your hands all the time, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. And here's what he said next. No, screw your freedom, because with freedom comes obligations and responsibilities. We cannot just say I have the right to do X, Y, and Z. When you infect other people, that is when it gets serious. He added, publicly admonishing those who aren't subscribing to the practice of masking up and getting the shot. Here's the kicker. Days later, Schwarzenegger was spotted in public without a mask as he walked outside and puffed on a cigar.
Ooh.
I hope all his sponsors leave.
Oh my.
Yeah, see, the double standard on that really, because he was just saying you don't have the right to
That's the
have
problem.
your freedom, and then he turned around and was exercising his right to go out there and puff on his cigar.
So the sponsor that he lost is called Redcon One.
Ooh, that's a big one.
I'd read in the article that they were big. I'd never heard of them. Of course, I'm not into bodybuilding, if anybody can't tell. And
You look like you're building your body pretty well.
shocker here, guys.
Hey, I like you the way you are, baby. Don't worry.
So I had never heard of Redcon One, but
they're a big outfit, and they're getting bigger.
well, here's we got some of the response why the guy said that he was pulling out of sponsoring the Arnold Classic, and there's other competitions I guess that Arnold has. He's also not going to be sponsoring those. Redcon One is a patriotic pro-freedom brand rooted in the uncompromising, unapologetic belief that you as an American are entitled to your freedoms and opinions and should not be insulted or persecuted for having a varying view. We support everyone's individual freedoms. This is in a statement from Aaron Singerman, who runs Redcon One.
So they're basically
awesome.
Redcon's pulling out because it goes against they're supporting someone.
Basically because
does
he
not
said
support
screw
them.
your freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't. You can make the argument for wearing masks and getting vaccinated without
Right.
getting really belligerent. You know what
It's
I mean?
true.
And when you say things like screw your freedom.
Screw
you
your
get-
freedom.
Yeah, screw your freedom.
Yeah.
Says a guy with a German
Yeah, I'll read
accent. You know,
Yeah.
when you talk like you're from Germany, you may want to be careful in the language you use, sir.
Yeah.
So,
Let me guess, he has old Nazi paintings in his house somewhere.
was his dad?
I've heard some weird stuff about. I thought it was him.
John, you were Kanan. Do you guys? What was the story with his dad? Because I've heard some
I can't
rumors
say I have-
that I don't want
I
to
can't
repeat
say
if
I
I
have
don't.
any knowledge about that, honestly.
Haven't verified.
I don't have any knowledge on that.
But let's just say the accent is very suspicious.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And the whole
that's
double standard thing.
Yep.
That's really starting to tick people off. In fact, it is what has powered a whole. What do they call that? Recall movement for
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom in California, which we talked about with Byron when we had him on the show.
Yep.
People's getting kind of
People are getting fed up, and I mean it's all right. it is our right to be fed up. Like, we state how we feel whenever we go to the polls and we vote. And
I want to make clear, Facebook, that I'm not saying don't wear a mask and don't get vaccinated and stuff. This isn't the conversation we're having.
No, we're not having that.
We're talking about when people say one thing and then they do another.
Yes.
And it just looks flat out awful.
Yep.
And it's enraging.
I think a lot of times people are just afraid of losing their fan base or losing, whatever. And so, because America's got to the point where if I don't agree with everything you say, then I don't want anything to do with you ever again. And so, they're worried that, hey, somebody's going to get mad because I do or don't support either thing. And so they put out this big statement to help smooth it over with those fans when they really don't even believe it themselves.
Right.
But they're afraid to state their opinion because America is to the point where it's, they'll cut anybody off just for having a different opinion than them.
But and it's seriously, do you really want someone who is, one, closed-minded and that their way is the only way that's right to be your support group? I'm being serious. Where is the people that you have the freedom to say and feel how you feel? That's why people, for example, you have the gay rights movement. They want the freedom to be able to do what they want. I want the right to be able to do what I want when it comes to, my body and doing so I don't understand that. Why are you going to want someone closed-minded that they're the only one that's correct? I don't want that to be my support base.
Well, and I used to think when I would hear people say, well, it's both sides of the aisle. I used to say no, but I tell you what, this past election season brought out some wild people in the conservative side that I didn't know existed. But
yeah,
like what John is saying, there's this thing going on now of you either agree with me all the way or screw you, I'm done.
Yeah, or we can't be friends.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I want us to be able to disagree but still be friends.
They said Ronald Reagan back in the day, Ronald Reagan, who was, of course, a Republican, and the Democrat Speaker of the House at the time, which I think his name was Tip O'Neill, I think. Am I right on that?
I'm not sure about that one.
Anyways, he was, of course, he was a Democrat and was leading the House. And they would get together, I think every Friday, or there was one day during the week, they'd get together and sit down and have cocktails and just talk. When's the last time you ever heard of something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the point where you'll hear, just because I can remember back when Trump was still president, Mike Pence shook Nancy Pelosi's hand or shook Kamala Harris's hand or something. Everybody's like, oh my Lord, look at him stabbing us in the back.
See, and I don't,
which he did anyway, but
yeah,
he's a liberal.
That's not the point right now.
Yeah. It comes down to being the better person and being I want my freedoms to say what I want. You have your right to say what you want. But if you don't want to be like that, hey, okay, bye. Peace.
I think that's what this whole thing revolves around. This whole great American experiment we're involved in. The First Amendment.
Right.
The right to be able to discuss ideas and decide then through discussion whose idea is dumb and who's got the better idea.
Right.
How do you figure that stuff out unless you sit and talk about it and you hear the good points and the bad points about each one, and then you make an informed decision.
Yes.
Let's talk to John. John, first of all, what made you want to come on the show?
Oh man, being on here with some buddies that can laugh and have a good time with, mainly.
Heck yeah. We don't usually get this. We're not usually this dark.
We know that you make me and Missy, but that's okay. We'll let them take that.
Actually, I meant Kanan and Phil. I had nothing to do with you, Mariah.
Whatever. It's okay. I am not offended.
I didn't know John for most of my life. I just met you, John, through Kanan. Maybe 3 years ago, something like that.
Almost 4.
Something like that.
Has it been?
Yeah, something like that.
Jack turns 4 in October.
Yeah.
I think we really met John at Jackson's
baby shower.
Yep.
If
I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
Why does time fly so fast?
I remember we laughed a lot, and a lot of people looked at us a little sideways.
We laughed a lot at some very inappropriate things.
And poor Kanan had to sit up front.
Yeah, at least that's what they tell me.
Kanan was up there just like, oh, look at the baby clothes, being such a good little husband. And then
That's not at all what he was doing.
He's looking over at Phil and John, and he's just like,
I remember that was the first baby shower I ever went to. And I can remember
Me too.
me and
hey.
me and you, John Hopkins, standing at the back of the room trying to get Kanan to crack up as he was holding up a onesie. You know, I think we got pretty close a couple times.
It was a little snug. It was a little snug. I wasn't a big fan of it.
It was a little snug.
Ew.
John, you saying ooh for? I hear a rumor about you and Mariah.
Because we were naked. But when Kanan with that little onesie and his butt hair hanging out, I think that's a little grosser than.
Oh yeah.
Lord.
What about me and my butthole hair?
The middle picture. John, I heard you recently got a new job.
I did. I started working for Muncie Area Youth for Christ. Pretty sweet gig, actually. Just got done today having a staff day. I got paid to go to Top Golf and eat a bunch of good food. Yeah, I know, it was great.
Now we're talking.
That's awesome, man.
Now, explain to me what Youth for Christ is, because I'm not really familiar with the organization.
Yeah. What is that?
So Youth for Christ is a nonprofit organization that has a lot of different ministry aspects. Here in Muncie area, we have call it Campus Life, which is essentially youth group at the school, like an after-school youth group. And so we have 3 of those in 3 schools on the outskirts of Muncie. And they do middle school and high school, so 11 to 19-year-olds. And then we have juvenile justice ministry, which is we have a guy that goes into the juvie here and talks to the kids and does a youth group setting there. And then we have what I do is City Life, which is essentially like basically helping urban kids, which Muncie's not necessarily an urban area, but we do have a lot of low income areas and a lot of kids in the poverty spectrum.
Yeah, and Muncie's still, I mean, that's not really a small town neither, is it?
No. So City Life focuses on the south side of Muncie, and the whole point of it is to try to make leaders within the community from the teenagers to help raise them into Christian leaders within their own community so that they can help disciple other teens coming behind them. So,
you know, that's a very good cause, and I would imagine probably pretty rewarding work.
Yes, very. So I've just like you said, it's new. I've only been in it for a few months now. But starting next week, they're allowing us, even though we're a Christian organization, they're allowing us to come into the school during school hours and tutor kids.
Oh, that's very good.
And obviously, because of the lack of religious freedoms within schools, we're not allowed to just bring up the topic of God. But if a kid brings it up, we're allowed to talk to them about it. We're allowed to talk to them about life choices and whatever without necessarily saying the word of God. So,
yeah. Well, that's good, and that can be a real issue. You talking about religious freedom in school? I can remember even when I was a kid, my brother running into some of that at a little West Virginia school. Yeah. It's like there's some people in some of those schools that they just love to try to just drive home the fact of separation of church and state. He was, if I remember right, he was just trying to take his Bible, and he was running into some trouble with that. And it's like, why would that be? Why would that be an issue? Yeah, you know,
because like you're allowed to wear a headdress if you're Muslim. You're allowed to wear your covering if you're Jewish.
Yeah, and I'm fine with all that. It's but just like,
don't. Why do you have to push on people? It's not like the school is teaching religion, which they have started doing. certain religions they will teach.
I remember them covering religion, if I remember correctly, in like history class and stuff like that. But that can become a really, really big issue. But that's good that they're letting you in. So, but you have to be careful what you say. I'm supposing, and but you can still make a really big impact like that, man.
Well, the point is to build a relationship with those kids, because obviously I'm a youth pastor as well on the south side of Muncie, so I'm working with the same kids. So building that relationship with them within the school setting, and helping them with their, elementary education. Some of them, have not even got that knowledge, and so helping them build up to, hey, this is what you need to know for middle school, and helping them, adjust to middle school, building that relationship, and then inviting them to things outside of school. Like, hey, we're having a city life group, such and such night. Then I'm able to do that. And then hopefully if they come to that, then that's a straight up youth group. I mean, we're talking about God, we're singing, we're playing games, everything that I normally do as a youth pastor. So it's just a great avenue to build relationships with them.
That is so good, because my mom, she talks about how like school, they would be able to teach her everything, but then there was a lady that came in and took her to Sunday school, and so she was involved like in my mom's life a lot. So that's really good. You're able to reach both sides, because like people don't remember that. Don't forget about that. My mom, she always reminds me of things, and things that she remembers how she was touched on both sides, as well as education, but also spiritually. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very good. And I think a lot of times those of us that had good upbringing, and then even more so those of us that were raised in rural settings, we forget what it can be like for some people, because me and you, we live in the country in West Virginia. We don't see everything that you would see if you lived in downtown New York City or downtown Chicago or wherever. Right. So there are kids out there, man, that they're not given a fair shake from the very start.
Right.
And so for an organization like what John's a part of here, to be able to come in and even if you can't preach religion to them, just to give them those stepping stones, that life advice, is very valuable.
Well, even just like influential people in their lives, even if you do not mention, like, because you have to be careful because it is a school, but just to have someone who has morals and a good foundation built on Jesus, just being a good person, like that example for them is going to be so influential for them, because a lot of people don't have that at home. They don't have people they can turn to and talk to and trust, because there's druggies at home, there's abuse at home, there's a lot. Who knows what these children are coming from? So that is so cool.
So there's a part of, I guess we kind of partner with a group called the Web of Support, and it talks about the fact that I think it's 5 people that a teen or 11 to 19-year-old whatever needs in their life in order to be successful. That can be 2 parents, a grandparent, and a teacher, and another youth pastor or whatever. It can be any of those things, but a lot of kids don't have even 2 or 3 of those things.
Yep.
Probably 50% of the kids in Southside Middle School, they don't have a father figure at home. Some of them don't really have a mother figure at home that's necessarily caring for them, and so just to be able to be one of those and then connect them with other people, that's another part of what we do, is try to connect them with organizations that can help them get food if they need it, or clothes if they need it. Connect them when they're graduating high school. Hey, we've got a good relationship with this business, and this businessman will give you a job and help you learn a trade or whatever. Yep. Just to
That's awesome.
Build a support system around them.
That's true. That's very good. And like I said, it's easy to forget that there are some people, man, they're just not. And it's easy to look at somebody that's a druggie or something like that and be like, what are you doing? Look at you, clean yourself up.
The stigmatism behind.
But you don't know the story that person's got.
Exactly. I just had a conversation with someone, and I work with someone, and she won't mind me telling her story. She really had a really bad experience, got hooked on pain pills, and then she got her life cleaned up. And she says people will look at her and say, I know what you came from. I know you were a juggie before. But like when you think about it, we all have something that we're addicted to, whether it's, stuffing our mouth full of the cheeseburgers or caffeine
Ouch.
or your phone. We're all there's addictions to stuff, but we are always like that stigmatism of people who, are an alcoholic or they're on drugs or they're doing like little things like that. There's a reason why people do that. And they need help just as badly as the person that's, 850 pounds. Like, there's different reasons why people do stuff, and people are so quick to judge. It really makes me really, really sad, because then people get clean and they still carry that. Like, I know what you were before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sad. Like, people are so judgmental and hateful. It's sad.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, there's other influences that, and I ultimately believe everybody's responsible for themselves in the end.
Absolutely.
But some of us have a little better head start than others.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I've kind of learned over the years to be a little more patient with people than I may have been in the past.
Yep, just because you were raised good and you didn't go out there and do all the bad things.
Yeah, I don't mean
the
everybody.
Bible says, to him that is forgiven much, loves much.
Mm-hmm.
And that person that went out there and did the drugs, did the awful things, they're forgiven. I mean, Jesus loves them as much as he loves the person that didn't go out there and do this stuff. But the person that is forgiven, they feel that weight. The weight of all their sins is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't help but
Means
think
more to
someone means, yes, the
Yep.
forgiveness means so much more to them than the person that just did a couple sins.
That's true. That's true. Kanan, you and John have worked together over the course of a few years, right?
Yeah, going on 4 years now.
And what
Yep.
you guys do? Well, tell us what you do.
Well, nowadays we ride around on Mondays and Fridays and just kind of hang out, really.
Must
you
be
work.
nice.
Yeah,
I tell John, I say, I look forward to Mondays and Fridays.
that's, maybe
To
we
be
should
fair,
spin
be
this
fair,
a
we
little
did
bit, Kanan,
about
to make
15.
sure, just in case your boss is listening. Mondays and Fridays, you guys work like a freaking dog.
Oh, my. Work our butts off.
Go ahead, John.
well, to be fair, Monday we did do like 15 jobs or something.
Yeah,
so we
we-
actually did a ton of work Monday,
Yeah,
but
we
we
did.
also had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did. We had a
I
lot
can
of fun, but yeah, we did do a lot of work on Monday.
So you guys
yeah.
do like maintenance and stuff for rental houses for a campus?
Yeah, Ball State rental properties. So
You got college
Yeah.
kids coming in and out of there, and you're basically
yeah.
taking care of it. So I can only imagine some of the things you may or may not have seen over the course of 4 years.
Oh my. Well, actually, what was one we just did the other day I was working on was I was actually just helping another guy on it. Was the painter was having to clean some blood off of the wall from where it,
Oh yeah, he told me about that.
yeah, over at 8. Oh, I probably shouldn't tell the address, maybe. I guess you can edit it out, kid. So what was funny was we were actually John. Did you do any of the work over there on that bathroom in that place?
Dude, I tried to stay out of that joint.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
And I say joint very, very loosely because there was a lot of joints going around
Yes.
in there too.
Oh, well, I had a picture. I had a picture of him on my phone for the longest time. He was over there with a bong just blazing. I took a picture of it, and of course they would get the munchies and stuff, and then they would. One time he cooked me a burger. He's like, "You hungry, man?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm always hungry, dude."
As a matter of fact, I am.
But they were nice kids. Well, we were working on this we were putting in 2 bathrooms for them. And we were in there, and I think that Friday they had a party. So Monday we came in, was working, and they told us, it's like, yeah, man. They said we had a shooting here on Friday night. They said,
Is that where the blood came
they
from?
said, well, no, the blood.
No, that
came,
gets better.
Yeah, the
Oh.
blood came from a kid flirting with another dude's girlfriend. So they took a baseball bat to his head, and
Well, you'll
yeah.
have that.
oh yeah, so it was quite the. It was very interesting, man.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So yeah,
Jeez.
but probably one of the funnier things that happened to me and John here recently was we was
I like the way this
over
is
on a
sounding
house
already.
on Neely Street, and it was a new house that I had never been into. Have you ever been in there, John?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been in there a couple times.
Okay, so you've been in there. I've never been in there. Well,
Let's
John's
preface this real quick, though. I'll let you finish the story, but let's preface this. The owner of our company just bought this house, okay? Like the big boss.
Okay.
Not just any old, the owner of the company.
Yes.
And the guy that owned it before him did a terrible job of upkeep and did some real janky things in the house. And Neely Street, Neely Street is like one of the highest end streets to have a house on. Like you have a house on Neely Street, you're sitting pretty because the rent is going to be really high there.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a very good area.
Now, when you said he was doing some janky stuff, what do you mean? Like, give me an example of.
Well, so I work on their appliances a lot. That's what I mainly do for Property Pros. And now that I work for Youth for Christ, I only do Mondays and Fridays. Okay. And so, for instance, I went there and worked on their dryer. It was a gas dryer. He had thrown some new parts in it that didn't even match up. Ooh. And then wondered why his dryer wasn't working. It's it's not working. And if you just go in the house, it's all choppy. There's bedrooms here and bedrooms there, and then there's a random bathroom in the basement. It's all just choppy and random. It's the weirdest house.
And this is in a really high-end neighborhood.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could see why that would be an issue.
Yes.
So go ahead, Kane, tell me this story.
Well, so we were working at another job, but John said, I got to go and look at this refrigerator. He's like, just run with me and, basically so we can hang out and you can help me slide the refrigerator out, and so on and so forth. So we go over there. Well, we start sliding the refrigerator out, and the water shut off. Another one of those janky things. He didn't have it on there very well. And so when we slid that refrigerator out of there, it had popped off. And I'm not a joking, dude. Water shot me right in the chest. I'm talking a heavy force of water. And so, so your first reaction is, well, get out of the way because you don't want to get soaked. Well, then I happen to look up, and this water is shooting at least 8 feet and just pelting the ceiling.
Oh, so my goodness.
I get to thinking to myself, I think, if it hits it that hard for any time at all, it's going to destroy that ceiling. Well, this is the big boss's house. So I literally just dive on top of this water hose. and I'm holding her down with my thumbs, trying to block the water. So John is running everywhere through the house trying to find the water shut off, and he can't find it. And so I yelled to him, I'm like, John, you gotta hurry, man. And then I was like, I don't want him to think I'm like, I don't even think I'm a I was like, I'm not mad, man. I was like, I'm just hurting. And I don't know how long I can hold it.
I'm not mad, I'm just hurting.
Sounds like you on a Friday night.
Well, dude, my thumbs, that water pressure was tearing them up.
Oh, yeah.
So we finally got that water off, dude. But in the process, man, we broke a Corona bottle. Had water everywhere.
What were you guys doing drinking over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the next rumor.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're going over there and putting your thumbs in Corona bottles. It was not a water pipe. It was Corona bottles.
Hey, it wasn't my thumbs. It was my mouth.
Oh.
And this was at the big boss's house.
Big boss's house.
The greatest
the owner
part of the
my
Corona.
company, too.
Yeah, the owner.
Of all the companies in Muncie.
Basically.
Yeah, for real.
The greatest part of the Corona bottle was when we went to pull it out in the first place. I said, whoa, Kanan, there's a Corona. It's about to fall off on the side over here. So I move it up to the front. Well, when Kanan dove on top of that thing, he bumps the refrigerator, and it exploded all over the all over the kitchen floor. Beer and water everywhere.
So you guys come back to the shop with this crazy story, just reeking of booze.
Yeah. So
we kept that
convenient.
story to ourselves.
Yeah, we haven't told.
Now they definitely are
We haven't
suspicious.
told too many on that one. We haven't told too many on that one.
We clean that up, and nobody knows the wiser.
That's right. That is
Everybody's
right.
thinking, why do they reek of booze? There's something weird going on. Like they're not afraid. They're afraid to ask you.
Is this a normal circumstance? You just going into places that are just look like a tornadoes went through them? Looks like
Well,
a
I'd like
rental
to say
property in
that's not a
Joplin,
negative.
Missouri.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's not a negative, but or a normal occurrence, but it's pretty
It
normal.
is, especially during turnover.
Oh yeah.
Not the water stuff. The water stuff's
Oh
happened
yeah. No.
like
No.
3 times total to me and Kanan, and
But,
they've
like-
all been bad ones.
Yeah.
Yes, they have, man. But I still think mine caused the most damage.
Yeah, correct.
See, that's one of the
Hey,
things that's always
Kate-
scared me from being from getting into rental properties, because I've heard so many horror stories of things like that
Yeah.
that I was always like, I don't know if I have the grace and patience to make it through a situation like this.
Well, I mean, if you don't have an idiot like me trying to hook up water lines to CPVC, you're good, you know. Because that was actually the problem with it. I think it was 7. What was that? Something like that. It wasn't even on campus. I don't think, was it, John?
No, it was downtown.
Yeah, it was downtown, and it was this really old house. And they just said, "Hey, can you go over here and hook up these water lines to Lowe's?" Wouldn't do it. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not a problem." Well, I went in there, and literally all I was doing, no exaggeration, I was literally just unscrewing it. Now, it was a little tighter, but it was at least unscrewing, of course, you know. Well, man, in the process of that, dude, that stuff snapped. I mean, like a twig.
Ooh.
And I mean water everywhere, man. It was flooding the place, like literally. It was running. I was in the upstairs, and it was flowing like a river downstairs.
Like a river. Like
Yeah.
a river.
So I remember I called another guy that was working at the time, Adam Jones, and I said, "Adam, I need your help over here now." And he's like, "Okay, man, be over there in just a minute." Well, dude, I'm like literally like pacing all over the place. Like I'm at this door that leads to the basement, but it's locked. There's no keys. I'm trying to break into like maybe one of the windows, and it wasn't big enough. I was all over the place. So I called him back and I said, "Dude, Adam, I don't think you understand how serious this is. I need you here now." And so he comes over. So long story short, he ends up coming over, and just me and him together start dropping our shoulders into this door and just break it down.
Jeez.
I thought you were going to say
we-
dropping
we-
your drawer.
I thought it was close
I
there.
thought you were gonna say.
For a minute, I was concerned.
Let's be clear. There was none of that going on.
Well, you guys,
Adam, you don't understand how bad I need you here right now.
So we end up breaking the door down, but by that time, dude, it actually destroyed like ceilings, drywall.
oh my
That's when you
God.
Yeah.
started, wasn't it?
I wasn't there
Jeez.
for very long. Yeah, dude, I thought I was gonna lose my job. I really did.
You probably should have.
I probably should.
We weren't even maintenance at that point. We were both doing
No,
lawn
you're
care
land.
still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
we
were
were.
landscapers.
Yeah, that's what they get, man. That's
And
what
then
they
Kanan
get.
comes to my
Jerks.
house, and then Kanan comes to my house, and he's like, "Oh, let me see if I can fix your toilet." And I'm like, "No, Kanan, it's okay. I think we can
Get
get
the heck away
this
from there,
fixed."
Dana. We've heard the legends.
He has a
No,
lot
I'm
more
kidding.
experience now.
I can actually do that now. Oh,
No, I'm
my.
just
I had
teasing
a-
you.
I had a incident similar to that. This is our 3 bad water stories. I got a call on emergency that said, "Hey, we've got a water leak in our house. We can hear it in the wall." And I thought, "Oh Lord!" So
Oh.
I run over there, and there's water coming through from the 2nd floor bathroom through the ceiling into a 1st floor bedroom, and it's just like a steady little stream. And I'm like, "Well, that sucks." So I go up there, and there's no access panel to the plumbing. So I thought, I'll just cut me an access panel into the plumbing. Well, when I did, I just bumped that pipe and it broke the rest of the way. And same thing,
Oh,
it
boy.
was a waterfall coming down, and it was hot water, so it made that room like a sauna. I'm talking steam rolling out of this room under the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And so I run into the basement. I'm like, I'll find the main water shut off. I'll shut it off. We'll be fine. Nope, it was broke. Didn't work. So I'm literally running up and down these stairs, sweating like a dog. I swear I had more sweat running off me than there was water running through this house. And,
Oh my goodness.
I finally had to get it shut off at the road. I was finally able to get it shut off all the way out at the meter and got it turned off. But those girls, it was bad enough that they were beyond like upset. They were just sitting there laughing like, this is ridiculous. There's water everywhere.
So, I mean, and I'm assuming, were these decent looking girls, John?
Oh no.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I mean, considering where the house was, I would say negative.
Well, I was thinking just how humiliating it would be. You're just running up and down the steps, sweating, showing total incompetence. With these girls just sitting there laughing at you.
what I do.
That was your pride, like in the trash.
Oh, man. Speaking of attractive girls, though, this is by far my favorite campus rental story. I had to go into a house and work on a couple things, and I walk in the back door. Granted, this is like 2:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, so this isn't high priority party time.
Okay.
But I walk in the back door, and there's probably 15 girls in this kitchen, and they're all just getting trashed.
Go on.
And
I'm having a wonderful time.
and so I have to walk in between them to get like where I need to get in the house. And I'm walking through the center of this kitchen, and as I get to the end of all the girls, this girl, I'm not talking like a little tap, she grabbed my butt cheek. Like, one hand just grabs it. And I was like, I literally, like, you know how you laugh and you make the motion like, oh, I'm moving forward real quick. I literally did that. Because I was like, what the heck just happened? And
How many times did you walk back through there, John?
Yeah, that's
it was
what I
a
want to know.
revolving door, man.
The revolving door.
But
He was bringing in his toolbox like one piece at a time.
Yeah.
that's right. So I walked back into the back room where I was working on the bathroom, and the girl that grabbed my butt wasn't a tenant there. She was just there partying. But the other girl, man, she was blushing. I am so sorry. I was like, ma'am, it makes for a really funny story, so I'm okay with it. It's just funny.
Yeah, just
Of
course
keep
you're
on
okay
doing
with
it.
it.
Well,
Just
yeah.
keep on doing it.
Just purely for the storytelling. That's the only reason I approve.
Yeah.
It's only awkward
So
when
it's
you
been
stop.
It's been an ongoing joke now because they always have maintenance requests at that particular house. And so they're like, well, better send Hoppy over there. He's already got a suitcase packed. He's ready to go.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I can only imagine, man.
Oh, my.
I mean, the town right close to us is technically a college town, but it's small
It is.
college.
Yeah.
But Morgantown is
I don't want nothing with that.
a disaster, and so I can only imagine
way.
working on a.
Oh, yeah.
My brother sent me
yeah.
a clip. It was on TikTok of they actually had SWAT in there.
On Morgantown?
Yeah, in Morgantown.
Oh yeah.
They said, come out. And they went in there and they had like tear gas. And they, oh my
It
gosh,
gets
it was
so
wild.
bad in Morgantown. I remember, and this was before the Black Lives Matter riots and all
Uh-huh.
that, so they weren't rioting for a political cause.
Right.
They just got into a snowball fight with the cops. If I remember, and there was cops.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, if I remember right, this was before all the rioting things. So the cops were up there in like doing like a full formation, pushing down the street as they're just getting
Slinging
pelted
them with snow.
Dude.
We're talking about embarrassing.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Morgantown can get
That's
just
awesome.
flat out ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But John,
Dude.
you did some singing before
Yeah.
before you got involved with
Forgot
this. What is it again? Teens for Christ, Youth for Christ,
Youth for Christ.
Youth for Christ. So you were with a couple different Southern gospel groups, right?
I was. I
That
sang with Revelation first, and that was like just some buddies that I went to college with.
Mhm.
Nothing real professional about that. Kanan actually played bass for us for a little while. He lasted longer than I did.
it was so unprofessional that Kanan played the bass for you. Is that what you were trying to say?
Oh,
Basically, essentially.
poor Kanan.
I picked up on that, Kanan, and I'm not amused.
But yeah, and then I sang with Third Row Boys, and they were a lot more professional, I guess, in that sense. That we pretty much only sang in, Indiana, Ohio, this area. But yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Mike. Hey, John,
Hold on
your mic is all staticky. I don't know if it's because it's on your neck or something.
It was because it's folded underneath my neck fat.
It was
We can
bound.
hear you okay, John.
It was flapping up there.
So Third Row Boys, they were like you guys didn't like tour the country, but they were a fairly big deal in that area, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was a paying gig. It was a paying gig.
Now, see,
cool.
that's when you reach that status, you know you're at least halfway there.
Yeah, you're halfway there.
That's
You are
right.
halfway towards your first million.
You're halfway there. So what? Because the Third Row Boys, they shut down, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so the owner of the group also sang, and his wife had some medical issues. And just he had a lot going on in his life at that point, and it was just time for him to step away. And
I understand.
it was kind of, I mean, it would have been tough anyways, because he shut it down right before COVID and all that happened anyways.
So it was actually pretty good timing in hindsight.
Yeah, it was perfect timing in hindsight, yeah. And then after that, then I became the youth pastor at the church, so I wouldn't have had time to travel. And then the guy that sang tenor, he now sings with a different group. So it all worked out great for everybody, but it's kind of sad. It was fun to sing with him.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's bittersweet because things turned out the way they were supposed to, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy were talking just over this past weekend about, if you have anything to do with music as a hobby, usually your dream is, I want to do this for a living.
Yeah.
But when you think about the issues that arise from doing that for a living,
Yep.
I mean, whenever people has time off, normally that's when you got to go to work, because when people has time off, now they want to go see some entertainment and stuff like that. So then you're, and just, can you imagine just week in and week out of doing that? And me and him were talking. I said, obviously when you're younger, that's a dream. You're like, man, I just love to do that. But then after you get a little bit older and you start hearing some of the people talk about it, and you hear some of the interviews, and they're like, man, I miss so much.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know if it's worth all that or not.
Yeah.
That can become
Well,
a
it's
big
one of
problem.
those things where if you're going to make it big, you have to start somewhere. And so then, like when I was doing Third Row Boys, I worked a full-time job. So I worked Monday through Friday, get off work. Sometimes I'd get off work early on Friday, go sing Friday night, Saturday. I'd miss a ton of weekends.
Oh, yeah.
And so, that was actually a relief when I finished, when everything shut down, the group closed up shop. I was very happy to have my weekends back, because I had no weekends. I had no time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ever.
yeah, you're gonna love.
Yeah, that makes it rough. I mean, but I'm sure and we talked about this on the last podcast, because we had Centerfire Bluegrass. We was talking about being on stage and stuff. But there is definitely an adrenaline rush that comes with that. Almost makes it worth it.
Yeah.
There's some kind of, it's addicting.
Okay.
If it goes well.
It is.
Yes.
If it doesn't go well, it's awful.
When you have people
It does
that are like so supportive of you, and they're just like, they come to see you perform, that is a high honor. It really is, because like there were people that showed up when we were singing down here at the Lurch Fest. They came just to see us, and then when we were done, they were out of there. And I was like, thank you. They took time out of their day to be with us for that little bit, and it was such an honor.
Yeah,
So
it's a big deal.
I get that whole, because for that second, it's all about you.
Yeah, maybe that speaks to the inner narcissist.
Yes, it is. It is true though.
I want you guys to spend an hour looking at me.
Yes, just look at me. Look at me.
Listen to me sing.
Because I can sing.
Because I can sing.
Oh man.
And then he was like,
dude.
hey, nice pipes. What was that from?
What?
The Office. No. The Office. And you did not know that reference. Yep. Whatever. You're
John, do you think
sleeping
you'll
on
ever
the
get?
couch.
You think you'll ever get involved in some other singing work?
Yee.
Honestly, probably not. I mean, maybe when I'm older, but I got a little kid and a kid on the way. I can't afford to spend any more time away than I already am.
Kind of changes the priorities a little bit, don't it?
Sure does.
Yeah.
But and then I mean, I get my fix because I sing in the worship team at church with Mariah. So, and Kanan doesn't sing, but
he's there.
He's there. He's there for moral support.
He's playing the bass.
Hey,
yeah.
Sometimes though, Kanan will get going on that bass, man, and he's jamming.
He forgets he's not like in an Ozzy Osbourne cover band.
Yeah, he's like da 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 da.
It's like, Kanan, this is supposed to be Amazing Grace, not Crazy Train.
Couple Sundays ago, it really did get to rocking, didn't it, guys?
It did.
It
was a great service. We were having a great service. I mean, I know maybe people that aren't religious, it's kind of weird to say it, but God's presence was in the service. It was a great service.
Mm-hmm. It was a great service.
Somebody went up and prayed, and they asked me, said, "Hey, John, will you come up and pray with me?" I'm like, "Of course I will." And so I got up and kneel down up front, and Kanan's playing, his cousin's playing, Aaron Brown's playing the drums, and that place was rocking, dude. I mean, I'm talking when I knelt down, because they were all feeling the spirit too, and so they were playing harder. And when I knelt down, I'm not joking, the floor was vibrating under me.
I see. That's what we're talking about there.
Yeah, it was great.
When you start busting the windows of the church out from the volume, that's when you're doing it right.
They were working on that gust of wind. They were trying to get that gust of wind going on.
I tell you, a group of, and we need to see if we can convince Mark to get Seventh Day Slumbering up there, because you talk about making a floor of all this. I tell you,
y'all.
You tell Mark if he gets them in, I'll make the drive.
Let me tell you though, I can go there, and I'm not really into like a lot of heavy rock, but when they played, oh my goodness, like there was some point they play like Waymaker, I think it was, they did. Mm-hmm. And
it's very good.
I do a heck of a job.
I cried my eyes out. Like, it was so worshipful, just talking about how God, he makes a way. He's a miracle worker, and he's a promise keeper. And that's just who God is. And when we, like, the Bible says we call him out, and like, I'm going to start crying on this, but like, as a nurse, like we're seeing so much stuff with COVID, and it's honestly emotionally draining. But whenever I get those moments where I can actually just break down and worship before God, it is such a invigorating and it's such a strengthening moment where my soul is just crying out to God. And it was so wonderful. Like, if anybody gets a chance to see Seventh Day Slumber, go do it.
Oh, they're amazing.
Worship God to the fullest. And they and not that God doesn't come, like he's not everywhere, but it's like whenever they sing, it's like God's even there, like times 10. Mm-hmm. You feel the worship and how they are doing it just to tell others about Jesus and how real he is. And you talk about testimonies. I know we're talking about it again, but I absolutely love them.
They're good.
Great.
Did you ever hear them, John?
I mean, I've heard a lot of their music. I've never seen them live, but yeah, I've heard them.
Oh, go see them.
I feel like even during, not even just live, but I mean, like, even just their music, if you're listening, like, I have them on my Apple Music. Mm-hmm. I listen to them every day.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm working out, I have them playing when I'm working out. And dude, I was on the treadmill. I was just running on the treadmill listening to them, and I started crying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, their stuff's good.
And I'm like, dear Lord, please don't let these other people see me. Not that there was much people in there, but I was just running on a treadmill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really good.
There's something about it, and I like rock. Okay,
Yeah.
ZZ Top and Eddie Van Halen. Of course, being a guitar player, you really come to love those guys like that because they're such good players. But I don't
Rest in peace, Dusty. Is that his name?
Yeah, Dusty Hill.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyways.
I really don't get into much heavy rock.
Yeah, I don't either.
Five Finger Death Punch and stuff. They're not really my thing.
Nope.
I mean, once they start like doing that real deep scream from your chest,
like that one group that we saw. We're not mentioning names.
What was it? Context? I already did it.
Those poor people.
It was so bad.
They sounded like they were hurting so bad. And the nurse inside me was like, do you need Jesus? I can help you.
Well, and that brings up a good point.
Oh, yes.
I'll finish what I was saying.
Finish what you were saying.
I don't normally get into real heavy
Right.
music. Honestly, Probably Van Halen's some of the hardest I go, and then once
I
you start
like
getting
some
harder
heavier stuff than what you do.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Like you're into some at Lincoln Park and all that, which
I like the song "Numb." I'm sorry.
That's not even hard rock.
No, it's
Well,
not
see?
hard,
Linkin
but
Park is pop.
yeah, I don't know.
What about
think
Disturbed?
Like an emo kid or something. Disturbed?
The Sound of
Yeah,
Silence.
Nah, see, I can't get into that neither.
See, I
No.
like.
Now their
I hate
version,
that song.
their version of Sound of
really?
Silence is better than the original guys.
I
but
like the Sound of Silence with him.
Not a fan of the song, but
Nah.
with Seventh Day Slumber,
That's a dumb name, too.
what is?
I said that's a dumb name, too. Sound of Silence.
Yes, yes, yeah. It just sounds like a song like a bunch of nerds. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
We're meeting you again.
Can't wait to read the periodic
sing-
table again.
Oh, man.
I just can't get
Sing
into
that
it.
with the Herbert the Pervert voice.
Oh,
So
He does a great Herbert
I
Burton.
know.
do it.
Herbert, so what are you guys saying? Hello, darkness.
It's like you come down to the basement. I've got. Say, I got some popsicles down in the basement.
I can't do it now. I'm laughing.
You can say, if you
change in my pocket if you want to get it out.
I got some creamy hamstrings.
ew.
Oh, man.
Oh no.
But Seventh Day Slumber, when I first started listening to them, they're a little harder than I would normally choose. But they don't do the screaming stuff, which
Right.
I just can't handle. To me,
I can't either.
If that's your thing, that's cool.
Like
Yeah,
if
I
it's so
can't get
bad,
into
you
it.
have to scan a barcode or their ICD-10. What was that name of that code? They have to have a
QR
code.
code.
QR code. There we go.
Yeah.
Like you can tell I'm a
Just-
nurse. You have to scan the code just so you can look up their lyrics because you can't understand them. Like, I'm sorry, there's something wrong.
Well, and that brings up a good point because, I come from a very, very judgmental background.
You do.
And I think I have.
Oh, y'all.
John, you're looking good today, man. But I come from a judgmental background. And so I'm like, I try not to still be that way.
Right,
So
yeah.
I heard these guys, and they were opening for Seventh Day Slumber the last time I saw them.
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
And they did, like you said, they're like, you might want to download our app so you can sing along with the lyrics. I'm like, why would I have to
Do that.
And then I was like, okay, so, and then the MC comes out and he's like, these next group, they like to scream. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. And these guys get up there.
I was screaming.
I'm not kidding. It was just.
It was bad. Like, it was like he was choking on the microphone.
It was terrible. But then he would read passages of scripture in between screaming his guts out. And I'm like, all right, I appreciate the scripture, but do you have to yell so loud?
No, but it sounded like he was in pain. Like
It was
not-
terrible.
It was. I started to have chest pain. I'm not even kidding. I started to have chest pain with that one, and I was like, my anxiety level couldn't take it. I was like, I'm out of here, and I was like, Mariah, we're grabbing Jack and we're going. I was like, this poor
I wasn't
baby
about
does
to let my
not
kid
need to
listen to
hear
that.
this. Like he's so innocent. He does not need to have like this tormented sounds in his ears.
It was
No.
rough. Now, they were a local band, and we know why.
It was their first and only appearance.
They actually said, John, they're like, this is our first concert ever. And we're like, oh, well, it shows.
Great.
And so they had, they were local, but then Seventh Day Slumber had two national bands with them, and they did a little more of the screaming than I. Now,
Relent?
I do, Relent. And
Okay, Relent was not bad. That guy, he
yeah.
was not bad at all.
Yeah, Relent wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I
No.
looked them up after because Kane was telling me about the concert. I looked them up, and they're actually good. I like them, actually.
yeah, Relent's not bad.
No.
Now, GFM.
You like harder stuff though.
Yeah.
GFM was.
Oh,
Okay, now Kane and I couldn't hardly keep him from running backstage.
try to
because
get with the cheerleader woman.
there's
Like,
little-
she kept propping her foot up on the stage up there. I I was
In her
like,
little
yeah.
cheerleader outfit.
I was kind of like, this is like a try to be cheerleader fantasy type thing. She was trying to also have a sexual appeal and throwing
That's
cupcakes.
exactly what Kanan told me.
Throwing cupcakes out into the crowd. Like, what the heck happens when? Why are you
I
throwing
was smearing
cupcakes?
cupcakes on myself.
You're like, pour some sugar on me, baby.
I looked over.
Cupcakes on me, baby.
Kanan had his shirt off with just 2 cupcakes on his nipples.
Looking like Katy Perry.
We're going for an hour and 16 minutes. We might as well,
We have to cut off. We'll have to save this thing that I had for later. Oh, by the way, Arnold Schwarzenegger, his dad is named Gustav, and he was a part of the Nazis.
He was.
Yeah. Mariah found it. Thank
There you go. There you go. So in other words, shut up, Arnold.
Yeah, we don't need to hear from you.
He goes goose stepping around the side of his house.
Speaking the Deutsch.
Dude, I would like to read a little more into that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting when I heard about it, but people started double standards, like we said.
Yep.
Yeah, for real.
Miss, do you have anything you want to say before we end it?
This is
Kanan?
great. It was a lot of fun.
What about you?
I think we're good.
And it looks like Mariah's already took off.
Yeah, she had to do something. Yeah.
John, what about this? Is there a website or something people can go to find out more about your organization there that you're a part of?
Yeah, I believe.
I'm assuming they take volunteers and stuff as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, they do. Everywhere needs volunteers. It's MuncieAreaYFC.org.
.org. Muncie area.
Yeah.
YFC.org. So if people want to, look into getting into something like that,
Yeah.
it's a very good cause. They can check it out. All right, John. Well, it's been fun having you on, man.
Yeah,
been a
thank
lot
you
Yeah,
for
it's
coming
been fun
on.
being here.
Has been a blast.
We have way too much fun with this thing. I think how far are we into this? Are we 4 months in? We started 30th of May,
I think we're 4 months in.
and
Are we really?
we've not missed a week yet. So
Yeah,
yeah, we're doing all right. I
Wow,
think
that's
this is
crazy.
episode like 18. I think 17 or 18.
18.
I think yeah. We're moving right along.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that'll do it for us. Remember, you can if you need to write into us, you can hillbillybroadcast@aol.com. If you want to become a supporter and want to leave us a voice message, it's anchor.fm/Phil Sparks. You can also find us on Facebook. New episodes usually out every Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all I got. We'll catch you next time. Love you.
Bye.